Welcome, everybody. It is June the 7th. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited. I'm honored and blessed y'all are here. It's a sunny, gorgeous day here in Vancouver. So if you're in the greater Vancouver area and came inside to watch this, whew, I'm inside at my office just to get a bit of air conditioning, but it's hot today. So if I start dripping, that's all it is. Welcome. So let's just drop into meditation and then we'll get going. Go and close your eyes. Once the windows of the eyes close, just settle into your breath. Take a long breath in and a slow breath out. Take a deep breath in and a relaxed breath out. Just keep inhales moved into an exhale. Belly rises and belly falls. Inhale and exhale. If your feet are on the floor, I would love you to imagine roots from the bottom of the feet going down into Mother Earth. All fears, all past, all future, let it leave the roots. And when it enters Mother Earth, imagine all those thoughts, the fears, the past, the future, getting transmuted to love. And then the love from the middle of the earth comes right back up into your feet, moving up your legs, into your stomach and into your heart. Take a few breaths. Imagine, if you will, that the group of people who are alive are sitting outside somewhere on a beautiful, beautiful day like today. We're standing in a circle and we're holding hands. I would love to imagine that out of your right hand, you're sending love to the person next to you. And then the love goes from that person, combined with yours, to the next person, to the next, all the way around. So see it slowly occurring. And then in your left hand, you receive love that went around the entire room. And let the love enter your hand, enter your body, and enter your heart. And just find stillness for a few minutes. Breathing in and out. Nice. Calm, slow breaths. Giving love, receiving love. Giving and receiving. After a few more breaths at your own pace, bring yourself back to this moment, back to this room. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Welcome, welcome. And again, thank you for those showing up live. So appreciate it. And if you're watching the recording, really appreciate it. Amazing too. So Marilee asked me how long we're going to be together for. About an hour and a quarter. I don't know. It really depends on Q&A. Great question, because this topic I could teach for about 10 hours. So, and actually not stop and just talk and talk and talk and talk. And if you've ever hung out with me, took any of my workshops, you know I have the gift of gab. So I can talk and teach and talk and teach. But it's such a large, expansive topic that I want you to think that what I've done today is gone taking a helicopter approach and looking down and kind of showing you the different steps. Okay. Now, each of the things I'm going to show you can take months, years, decades, right? To really never master, but it never ends. That's what I want to say. Beautiful Rachel, for example, was in my retreat in Palm Springs, and she's here. Does that mean she didn't get a Palm Springs? No, she got it, but she's going deeper. Does that make sense? Athena and Jamie are in one of my other classes. I mean, they don't get it? No. It just never ends, if that makes sense. So is Angie. It just never ends. And so if you're here for the first time or you're a frequent flyer to my work, amazing. But keeping in mind that this topic is really deep, and I'm doing the best to kind of condense it into the hour we have. So let us have some fun. I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint. Like I said, I do PowerPoints to keep you engaged as best as I can, so you don't drift off and buy stuff on Amazon while we're together. But you can, you're more than welcome to, but hopefully to keep you engaged with me. So let us get going here. So let's have a slideshow from the beginning. Okay, great. Amazing. So today's class is called Let's Talk About Healing. Okay, so we're going to be talking all about healing, and we're going to have some fun with it. So who am I? I'll make this really brief because you can go to my website. My name is Dr. Divi. I'm a family doctor turned intuitive coach turned spiritual teacher. So essentially, I teach spiritual techniques, thoughts and emotion shifting to heal body, minds, emotions, relationships, and so on. That's what I do. I love what I do. I'm blessed to do what I do. And I graduated medical school class 93. So you can do the math on that. And then I moved into intuitive coaching about 17 years ago, and then shifted more into like I've been teaching pretty much the whole time, but really shifted into teaching the last 5 or 6 years. So, and now even more the last 2 years since my son moved up to university. So I have more time. So that's really briefly about me. Bit about how this workshop is set up. I said it before I hit record. I've set it up that only my face is being recorded, so it's spotlighted. You guys aren't. It is interactive, so you'll see the slide say Q&A, what's coming up, or use the chat box. So please use that because you're going to get the most out of it the more you share. The last point of the being vulnerability. The reason I record it this way is because vulnerability is the key. If you want to get anything out of the work I do, be vulnerable. The more vulnerable you are, the more you're going to get out of it. Like I said, only my face is being recorded, but your audio will be if you ask a question out loud. And by the law of one, if, say, Jill asks a question, that question applies to Brooklyn, to Athena, to James, all of it. So if you can keep in mind the law of one, if somebody asks a question, it applies to all of you. I'll do a formal Q&A at the end. But if there are questions that come up as we go, put them in the chat box or throw your hand up, or wait till the end. The questions can be anything about what's going on in your own life and or friends and or about the material. So I'm pretty cool about that. All right, so let's get going. That's just brief. Okay, what is healing? Healing is often thought of as a release of symptoms, a release of pain, or release of disease. Okay, that's what we often think of pain as, of healing as. What we actually want to remember, that healing is a return to who you truly are. Your truth and your ease, your wellness, your vitality, your incredible health, your joy, your mind, your incredibleness. So health, I think of healing as more of a return to your truth rather than a remedy of symptoms. In the process of returning your truth, your symptoms remedy. But the focus is not on the symptoms. The focus is on your vitality, your divinity. And I'll explain those words in a few minutes here. But I'd love you to think of healing as a return to your wholeness. So we're going to be approaching healing not just from the body. I know when people typically hear the word healing, they think of the body, which is totally cool. But it's also of your emotions, your conversation around money, relationships, any area of your life. In my world, they're all the same. So whether you're here because of a money issue, a relationship problem, a physical problem, in my world, everything I just said is all the same. Okay, it's a return to who you truly are in your wholeness. Oh, I spelled wholeness wrong. It's a return to who you truly are. Okay, so let's spend a couple minutes defining a few terms here. If you come to my workshops before, you've heard me define these terms. So there's ego and there's spirit. I'm going to stop share for a second because I like to talk with my hands. So there's the ego and there's spirit. So the ego is the part of us that actually forgets your divine nature. What do I mean by that? So in order to figure out what the ego is, we have to know what the divine nature is. The divine nature is your essence. The divine nature is the part of you that holds infinite love. Your divine nature is infinite peace. Your divine nature is the part of you that even when there's road rage and you're watching the news and shit's going down, you can find peace regardless. Your divine nature is spirit, love, peace. The other word I often use is essence. Okay. Now you yourself will have to kind of get to that thinking yourself. We're going to spend more time on it today, but your divine nature is actually who you truly are. One of my clients actually earlier today I think him and his wife are still in labor. He texted me this morning at about 10. I was walking out the door and he said, his wife, whose name I won't use, her water broke, second baby. Do you have 10 minutes to chat on the phone? I'm like, yeah, sure. At such and such time after the call. And so I'm sure they're still in labor because he usually sends me a picture right after the baby's born. And he talked about how he's nervous because the boy, the first one was a girl, he's dad, right? And so and I said to him, do you remember that moment you held your baby girl? And it was this awe. And he said, yeah. And I said, that's the divinity. The son of yours is not worried that you're a good enough dad or a God enough dad. That divine nature, if you've ever held a newborn or held a baby cat or a baby dog or like that purity of the essence, that's your divine nature. And so that when I refer to words divine nature, essence, truth, think of the moment of holding a newborn. Think of the purity with which they radiate life. That's still in you. No matter if you're 80, 90, 20, 30, I don't care how old you are, that's still in you. So in my world, healing is a return to that. So that's who we are in your truth, okay? Then we have another part of us that's called the ego. The ego is not the bad part. The ego has many, many definitions depending on what you've studied, what you've learned. The ego is not the bad part of you, and the ego is not a physical thing either. I can't say this is the ego or that's the ego. The ego is simply the part of you that forgot you're your essence. Super simple. The ego is simply the part of you that forgot that you're unconditional love. Really simple. The ego is everything that just forgot your true nature. Okay. Now, in the class, I'm going to use words like spirit, love, the divine, the universe, essence, God, interchangeably. The reason I use the word God is I'm a student of A Course in Miracles. A Course in Miracles is a big text about this thick. And it all of current day spiritual development is based on it, whether it be Eckhart Tolle's work or Wayne Dyer's work, Louise Hay's work, Marianne Williamson. It's all based on the Course. Now, the Course uses the word God a lot. So as a result of studying it, it's become a default word for me. If you've known me like Angie's known me for a long time, I didn't use that word a lot before. But since I've dived into that study more, you're going to hear me use it. I totally know that the word God offends a lot of people, and I respect you. It offended me for a long time, just FYI, because somewhere in our subconscious, we have all these weird things about God, right? For some of us, God is fearful. For some of us, God is this, God is that. I'd love you to think of the word God as a purity of unconditional love. Now, if the word still rattles you, respect it immensely. Change the word in your mind to universe, the divine, love. Same word in my world, but just so you know, if I default to that word, it's not that I'm referring to a white guy in the sky with a beard. I'm just referring to that pure essence of unconditional love. Cool? Amazing. Okay, let me go back to the slides because you need to know something about me. I can just go off and talk and talk and talk and forget what I'm teaching. So there's the ego and then there's spirit. And I would love to imagine that in the mind of yours right now, and we think of the mind as in your head, but the mind's not in your head, but don't worry the location of the mind. I'd love you to think of the part that you call the mind split in half, like a circle. Half of that circle is fear and half that circle is love. So even when you're spiraling in fear about God knows what, there's another half of that circle that's pure love, just FYI. So at every moment you've got a fear thought, I want you to also know that there's another half of that circle which has a love thought about everything. And that's a hard one for us to hear. No matter what's going on in your life, there's a thought in your head about love, just so you know, no matter what's going on. I already said this, the words I use, love, spirit, God, talked about that already. Let's talk about the ego and thoughts and fears. So most of us have heard the concept that we have 40 to 60,000 thoughts a day. It's a lot of thoughts. We have subconscious thoughts, unconscious thoughts, conscious thoughts. Our subconscious and unconscious thought systems, those are the thoughts that are sort of packed away. And they can cut the subconscious, unconscious thoughts in Divi's world, okay, in the metaphysical realm, are the thoughts that we're here to heal. What are subconscious, unconscious thoughts? They're sometimes from your ancestry, stuff your mom and dad didn't heal that's in you. a trauma from childhood. I'll get on all to this in just a second, what society thinks. And these thoughts are back here in the subconscious, unconscious. Now, how I described my own childhood, and to be honest, most humans do this. I moved out to go to medical school when I was 19. And when I left Windsor, Ontario, which is where I grew up, to go to London, Ontario, which is where I went to med school, I sort of imagined, okay, I'm done. I'm leaving home. And I imagined it like, I'm done. It got even more when I moved out west. I thought of it like an accordion door. Like, you know, when you pull an accordion door and you're like, see you later. I thought of my childhood as behind that accordion door, only to wake up a few years later and to be like on the floor in chronic pain, not knowing that that chronic pain was from what was behind the accordion door. So a lot of teachers, like the woman who wrote Eat, Pray, Love, Elizabeth Gilbert, she talks about how you live at home from 0 to 15, 0 to 18, and then you spend the rest of your adult life unpacking that crap. It's a joke. But that stuff in that other room, the subconscious, unconscious stuff, what is that? That's the stuff that we've internalized. That's the stories back here. Okay. The other way I often describe it, and I often use my hand to describe it. If here's 0, ages of 0, and here's 15, let's say a childhood trauma occurs, and a trauma is what the child experiences, not what the adult thinks. As a result of that trauma, a part of you is stuck here in space. Let's say you've got an abandonment wound. Your mom was never there. You've got a part of you that feels abandoned. That part is in your psyche. But you pulled the accordion door like I did and ran away. Totally normal. Or you tried to deal with it on a mind level, but never got to the spirit level. We'll get to there in a minute. These parts of us are in us. These parts of us are unhealed. I've got stuff from my ancestry because I'm East Indian. I've got stuff from that culture that's in me that my mom and dad never actually taught me, never said out loud, but it's in here. Got it? So these things are in us, these parts of our frozen psyche. And then as we get older, they show up in, people you marry, things your kids say to you. You know those things we call triggers, like you go from 0 to 100? Those triggers are these. What we try to do as humans is we try to put those triggers over there. Okay, I'm going to avoid that box. My office probably has about 25 offices. I rented a room amongst offices. And what humans do, I was taught to this, you put it in that room and you walk to the other room. You put it in that room, walk to the other room. Pretty soon what's going to happen is 24 of those rooms are going to not be available to you. Because if everything keeps triggering you, you're not dealing with your wounds. But people come to my classes because they kind of know this. And they've tried, clients who come to me have tried pretty much everything else. If you saw my post the other day, I did a post about supplements, pissed some people off, I'm sure, but it's fine. I know I would tell you the average person who comes to see me has done supplements. They've done chiro. If it's not physical, mental, emotional, they've done counseling and they've done everything. And they come to me because nothing works. So things like supplements, yoga, working out, amazing stuff. Nutritional counseling, amazing. But they're temporary. True healing occurs when you enter into spirit, which is the work I do. Okay, let's go back to the slides because I can feel I'm going off onto a tangent. Give me a sec here. All right, let's go back here. So conscious, subconscious, we talked about that stuff. We got that now, got that. And a lot of this subconscious, unconscious trauma stuff are fear. See that word fear? They're fear-based. Okay. But what we have to do is let's go back to love. And this is a really, 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 really important slide. Love is real. I want to say that slowly. Love is real. Love is palpable. Love is our inherent essence. Love is all we are. Just take that in for a minute. I'm going to repeat that one or two more times. Love is all we are. Love is in our inherent essence. Love is real. Take that in for a few breaths. Use the chat box and tell me what you're feeling in your body or in your mind. Love is real. Love is my inherent essence. Use the chat box. What's coming up for you? Love is the truth of who I am. Love is my truth. What's coming up for you guys? Let's see what you guys wrote here. I feel like I just went home. Beautiful, Jamie. Yeah. Love is your truth. Love is your home. Well said, Jamie. Love is your home. So this is an important slide. As simple as this slide might sound, it's probably, to be honest, one of the most important slides. I feel at peace. I feel a sense of relief and vulnerability. Love you. Love that, Vicky. Love that. Love that. Yeah. It's your truth. It's your truth. Okay. Oh, I wrote that. Be still with that. It's funny. What do you notice? Let's try one more line. Love created me like itself. Take that in. Love created me like itself. Love created me like itself. And what do you notice? Love created me like itself. Vicky wrote, she feels seen. Angie wrote, it's reassuring. I know that, but I need to hear it again today. Beautiful. Yeah. Now, these two slides can never be emphasized enough because we can spend our entire lives diving into the fight, flight, freeze. But if we do not access this spirit side of love, nothing can actually heal. You'll be taking 1,000,000 supplements, going to 1,000 yoga classes, and which amazing, amazing. But if you truly want to heal, you have to be willing to access these parts of us. Love created me like itself. It's the pinnacle of the work. Let's define a miracle. A miracle is simply defined as a shift in perception from fear to love. I'm going to say that again. Miracle is defined as a shift in perception from fear to love. Okay. A fear to love creates miracle. And I want to, if you haven't heard me say this before, it's important. The Course tells us that if a miracle is not happening, something has gone wrong. And miracles happen all day, every day, not just when you get a parking spot, not just on Father's Day. Miracles are the natural occurrences of life. Let's talk about thoughts. We want to immerse ourselves into a deep understanding that we don't know. Many times we approach healing from trying to figure it out or like I do know. So this first box is super important. The more we can approach healing from the I don't know mind, the more we will receive. And a lot of people, when they're healing any of their area of their life, are busy trying to figure it out. But if we can approach it from the I don't not know mind and open-hearted, you can be blown away at what happens. I talked about this earlier. The ego is not a thing. It's a mental construct or a mental habit of identifying. And we identify ourselves all day, every day. Again, a mental habit of identifying. So I want to pause for a second. What are your mental habits of identifying? So for example, if somebody asked me that question, I would say, well, my mental habit of identifying is I've got black hair with brown hair. I'm a woman. I've got a red shirt on. What are your mental habits of identifying? Just use it in the chat box. What, if the ego is a mental habit of identifying, what would it say? So maybe another one, and use the chat box. I was beat up when I was a kid. I was victimized. What is your habit of identifying that the mental habit does for you? Just use the chat box. What do you got? What is your, like, just your go-to? I know that's a big question. I know it's a big question. Well, what would you say you do when you're in a healing group or a workshop? What is your mental habit of identifying? Good one, Becky. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm going to call bull on that one, but I get it. That's what the ego does to her. It says, you're not supposed to be here, Vicky. You're just not. And that's her habit. I love that, Vicky. Thank you for sharing that. It's her habit to say, I don't belong here. I'm not supposed to be here. Something's wrong. Can anyone else relate to that one? Something's wrong. I don't belong here. I'm not supposed to be here, right? Right? It's a mental habit. And later on in the slides, we're going to talk about mental habits that the ego does are typically shame, sin, guilt, and fear. And we'll get there in a second. But it's so hard to identify because we've been doing it every day since we were in utero. Even more when you learn to speak. Even more when you learn words together. Got it? Because even babies before they speak, they look around and they're like, oh, that person keeps coming. That must be, I don't know, mom or somebody. Not that that's a word they have, but they keep identifying. There's that person with a face and a nose. All of this is building the ego. Got it? Marilee wrote one of her ego thoughts of identifying as being unheard. So the more you can identify it, the more you're going to see it. Okay. And the reason we're going to spend a few minutes here is because the more that we identify what the ego's thought system is, The ego does everything it can to keep you away from spirit. Rachel wrote that she exists. She's just a mom, a wife, a massage therapist, etc. Just a mom. Oh, I want to take that away from you. You're a mom. That is massive, hon. Massive, right? But that the ego decreases it, right? You're just a mom. You're just a massage therapist. You're nothing, right? So that you really want to see what the ego does. Let me go back to my slides because again, I feel like I'm going off because I can do that very easily. All right. So what do my slides say next? No, I just want to open. Okay, there we go. So the ego is not a thing. Okay. Oops. Let's pause. What have you learned so far? I didn't know I was going to do that. Just say in the chat box, what have you learned so far? Sometimes I do this in classes just to keep you engaged with me. What have you learned so far? Maybe you learned love is all you are. What else have you learned? So use the chat box. Again, I'm gonna have this slide up 3, 4, 5 times for the class because A, it'll keep you engaged, but B, it'll also have you reflect what I've taught for the last 25 minutes. What have you learned so far? The ego is the mental habit of identifying. What have you learned so far? Your true essence is love. I'm trying to give you guys hints. What have you learned? Give you guys a second. Good to hear myself again. Really good, Vicki. That I am love. Yes. Thank you, Ina. Yes, you're love. Yes. Love it. Okay. Love it. Okay. And I know more is coming in. God is a purity of unconditional love. Yes, Michaela, that's exactly it. And if I went further, we're going to get there, but that's who you are to your truth. Early wrote, essence, love, higher power is all we are. Yes, that's all you are. Yes, I can stop now. Yes, I love it. Yes. I love it. Love it. Okay, let's go back to the mind. Okay, let's go back to the mind and the ego thought system. Take a moment, use the chat box. What are your repetitive thought patterns that you do all day? Use the chat box. What do you think all day? Just use the chat box. I got to run and take care of my kids. What do you think? What's a habit the mind thinks? I got to make it to the gym. I got to make money. Just give me some general things. What do you think all day? And the next slide is what are my emotions? So if you want to do 2 for me, the first slide is what are my thoughts that are repetitive? The second slide is what are my emotions that I keep repeating? Okay, I am just a wife. Oh, I want to take that away. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I'm just his wife. I want to take that away from you, baby girl. I really do. I need my glasses. Am I doing this right? Oh, wow, Sarah. Okay. On the best path for me. Wow, Sarah. Okay, good. Mary wrote, finish this task to get the next one done. Great. Jordan wrote, I'm not good enough. I don't belong here. Shame and guilt. I'm off my path. Great, Vicki. Okay. What are the emotions? Oh, Jordan already beat you guys to it. She said her emotion is shame and guilt. What other emotions do you guys have? So we've noticed the thoughts we go to. Okay. Am I doing this right? Is this the best path for me? I got to do this, then do that. Well, what are the emotions as well? So these are the thoughts, right? There's a lot of, am I on my thoughts today? What else do you guys, what are your emotions that you go to all the time? Okay, I'm stuck on my weight tonight. Oh, good, Jamie. And I really didn't want to share on that, but I realize it's a symptom. So I've got to do something about this. So I need to get into these thoughts. So good, Jamie. Am I not good enough? Great. So come into the emotions. So Jamie, that emotion is typically shame, guilt, so on. Anyone else want to share what their emotions are? Emotion. Thank you. Joy and exhilaration and fear. Great, Vicki. Overwhelm. Great. What else do you guys got? Anxiety on a daily basis. So good, Rachel. So things run through my head daily. I have to do this, I have to do that. Great. Anyone else can relate? Anyone else want to share what their emotions are that they feel all the time? Give you guys a second. What other emotions do you share over and over again? What emotions do you share? Stop thinking negative. Great, Athena. Okay, let me go back to my slides. Forgive myself for being a failure as a healer. Oh, Janet, I need to grab you. Stick around, Janet. I want to talk to you at the end. Frustration. Okay, good. All right, good. You guys are doing amazing. Thank you. Fear, sadness, inadequacy, not enoughness. Just before I keep going, you guys know this is the ego, right? Before I keep going, you know this is the ego. Before I keep going. Well, okay, somebody's unmuted. That's fine. One sec. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out who's muted. There you are, Deb. Okay. So resistance, great enough. So before I keep going back to the slides, I really want to show you something. All of the emotions and thought you're speaking of are the ego. Do you guys see that? Do you guys just see that just a little bit? This, am I on my path? Are you joking? I'm a failed healer. Seriously? So what we do is we give the ego thought systems so much juicy stuff. And love is sitting right here. Love is sitting right here. But shame, fear, frustration, resistance, it's addictive to the fear thought system. And love sits right here. Take a breath with that for a sec. Take a breath. All of this is a resistance to the love. All of this is a resistance to your divine truth. All of this is a resistance to your God self. All of this is a resistance to your essence. Take a breath with that for a sec. Just breathe. Good. Really good. Okay. So what I was trying to show you in those two slides is the thoughts and emotions that typically we keep repeating all day, every day are the egos. And they just run us like no tomorrow. So much for it so that we don't even realize it. And we cycle these all day, every day. Okay. We cycle them all day, every day. So we already did this. We looked at our emotions. We talked about those a bit. So amazing. So now I'm going to push you guys a little bit further. So we've all identified some of the ego thought systems that we have. Take a breath for a sec. And I'm going to kind of screw your mind up a bit. What if you had no identifying thoughts? You have no labels. What if you didn't identify with anything, from being a mom, being a dad, to being a girl, to being a boy, to being a wife, to being a sister, to being a worker? Take a breath with that. What would it be like? Take a breath and tell me, what would you experience in life if you took away your labels? Keep breathing, guys. Keep breathing. And use the chat box. I would be so happy. Yay, Jamie. Yeah. I would have freedom. Yeah, Sarah. Peace and joy. Thank you, Rachel. Yeah. Yeah. Because all of the ego thought systems are built on this thing. Right, Jamie? This thing. This body, this identification. And we eat, live, breathe it. Close your eyes for a second. I want you to imagine. I want you to imagine a beautiful light that's much bigger than you. If anyone remembers the show Star Trek, and they would go, beam me up, Scotty. And there would be light going way, way up and way, way down. So beam me up, Scotty. Think of that light all around you. Just breathe into that. Now I want you to imagine that that's who you are. Your consciousness is bigger than you, all around you. Breathe into that. That's who you are. Now, right now I'm in a room that's about 10 by 10. So if I imagine this whole energy light is who I am, and I take that focus of that beaming up Scotty light, that's who I am, not this body. Take a breath. Go and open your eyes. What if that's who you are? And it's easy for me to say you're not this body, but it's hard to hear because we have identified ourselves since we were like little bubbas, that I am this hair, I'm these eyebrows, I'm this nail polish, I'm this, I'm that, I'm these lips. But disidentifying with that crap is where freedom starts. I really need to say that again. Disidentifying with this is where love begins. And you can see how I'm not, because if you don't know, I'm an intuitive by trade. So I do for work. So I'm feeling your energy. A lot of your minds have just stopped thinking, which is amazing. Thank you for stop thinking. But if you stop thinking, you settle into love. And what I want to say to each of you, all of your BS stuff, am I on my path? Did I do this right? Did I do that wrong? I got to lose this weight. It's stuff that the ego is going to grab and twist you on. But love sits right here waiting for you. Love doesn't come over and go, come on, Carrie, come on. Love just waits for you to drop your story. Love waits for you to identify as this whole room, not this body. And it's all mind. It's all mind. People think I need to die to feel better. And that's BS. It's all mind. If you can change the way you think, then everything changes. Remember that expression from Wayne Dyer? change the way I think about things, the things I look at will change. It's all mind. But at the end of the day, I hate to say this to you guys, we're lazy thinkers. We default to the default thought, default emotion, default, default, default. And all the work I do is about chugging you out of these fear-based thoughts to love. But the hard part about what I do, it's not hard. It's not hard. The funniest thing about what I do, because I've been doing this work for 17 years, but teaching professionally for a long time as well, but really cranked up teaching the last 2 years. What I have been blown away at is people want to talk about their fears all day, but they resist the love. They resist that. And that's who you are. I'm going to pause for a sec. What's coming up for you? Use the chat box. What have you learned? What's coming up for you? How is this landing? I'll give you guys a second. Use the chat box. What's coming up? I'll go back to the slides after this interaction, then I'll go back. Love is right here. Yay! Yes, it's right here. It's right here. It's right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. Like right now, right here, right now, right here. Love is here right now. And because of what I do for work, I mean, I see energy for work, right? So, Carrie's got a clear background behind her. So she has a whole bunch of Archangel Raphael's behind her on her right side, Divine Mother's on her left side. Like there's guides all behind her, right? So love is right here. I'll keep typing. What else have you learned so far? Sarah's not the only one who's with me. Who else is with me? What else have you learned so far? What else have you learned? Has anyone learned that the ego is a lie yet? Because I haven't gotten there yet. I don't know if I've gotten there. I don't think I have. What else have you learned? I resist love. You nail it. Yes. Yes. I resist love and wallow in my fears because the ego loves it. It loves it, loves it, loves it, loves it, loves it. I can hear the voices from the past and they were actually wrong. It's all a lie. So good, Jamie. The only thing that's truth is right now, your divinity and love. And that's truth. And that's where the miracle lies. Yes, Angie, the resistance to love has become weaker. And I felt that in you in the classes. I have felt that. So good. To let go of my grasp on myself. So good, Vicky. Yeah. So when I'm out and about, and I hope this helps you, Vicky, and everybody else. When I'm out and about, and again, I hope you've seen Star Trek and Beam Me Up, Scotty. I think of that's who I am, not this body. Or I spend time out here looking at myself. Oh, look, I'm driving in the car. Oh, look, I'm on the phone. Oh, look, you get it? As the more I do that, the more I'm losing. This is my identification. And then just life starts getting better and better. Let me go back to my slides. So love is your true essence. You guys are starting to get it, which is so good. Okay. And all of the thoughts that the ego thoughts keep us in fear. And we have really deep thoughts. This next slide is super important. We have deep thoughts. The deepest thoughts we have are about our unworthiness, our lack, our sin, our shame, our guilt. Take that slide in for a sec. The deepest thoughts we have is our unworthiness, our lack, our sin, our shame, our guilt. Now I'm going to pause. I'm going to push you guys because I want you guys to be thinking. I'm going to leave this slide up, but I also want you to think. How does the ego grab these emotions and give you thoughts? And I want you to use the chat box. So for example, some of you guys wrote in, am I on my path? That's the ego shaming you. And I want you to just identify thoughts and put them into the chat box that the ego does to pull these emotions forward. What do you guys got here? What are the thoughts that the ego does to you to keep you in these emotions? So maybe it's about your weight. Maybe it's about your profession. Maybe it's, you didn't do X, Y, Z. What are the thoughts? The more specific you can get here, the better you're going to get out of this. What thoughts are the deepest thoughts you have that keep you in sin, shame, and guilt? Yes, that you'll never be good enough, Rachel. So good. What else do you guys got? What deepest thoughts do you have that I've done something wrong, that I'm shamed? The ego thoughts trying to look to the future, far into the future. Good, Angie. That I'm to blame for anything and everything. Holy Vicky, wow. I am my pain, my migraines. Yes, Ina, so good, so good. What have I done wrong? Good, Janet. Comparing myself to others. I'm behind the human race. Yeah, amazing, amazing. I can't figure myself out. I'm unworthy. Okay. Just be open to this for a second. Be open to this for a second. Just be open to this for a second. What if all of those thoughts are bullshit? And if you don't know, I swear, I'm a failure. What if they're all bullshit? I just can throw it out there and like just be really crass with it. What if they're all a lie? What if there's no end to that spin of unworthy? Like as soon as you figure out my weight, then it's gonna be something else, something else, something else. That I'm somehow failing myself. LOL. Exactly, Vicky. LOL is right. Because to your God self, you are purity of consciousness. I want to teach one more thing before I go back to the slides. From the course, they talk about this concept that a sin is just a mistake that needs to be forgiven. So if you think you've sinned in some ways, it's just a mistake, a thought that needs to be forgiven. I'll come back to forgiveness in a second. But I want you to be open that all of these thoughts that I can tell cycle in your head, I've done something wrong, is the ego grabbing you like a dog to bite your neck. But it's what the ego does to resist love, which is your truth. And this is the bottom part of healing, because that last slide I just had up, that is the basis of all pain, whether it be relationship, health, money, they all originate from the ego's thought system of sin, shame, guilt, and so on. So those thoughts are keeping us in a loop. They keep me in a story and there is no hope there. And you can pacify them for a bit. You can get a massage. You can, go to yoga. You can take some supplements, but they actually don't release it. That's why you're always doing something to heal, because you're not healing the ultimate, which is that they're a lie, and you're not replacing them with love. Okay, what have you learned so far? What have you learned so far? Use the chat box. What have you learned so far? I'll give you guys a minute. What are your take home so far before I go back to the slides? What have you learned? The ego's got you in a linchpin. What have you learned? That I've been keeping myself stuck with the ego thoughts that aren't real. Yes, Sarah. Yes. That the ego is BS. Yes, Jocelyn. So good. So good. So good. So good. And if it was as easy as what Jocelyn and Sarah did, which is, it is that easy, but the ego just keeps grabbing us, right? So yes, now knowing that is step one, but then we'll get into step two in a second. But just knowing that, which is amazing that you know it, isn't enough. We have to do the other work. Having no hope is a lie. Yes, yeah, yes, yes, yes. Thank you for seeing my spirit guides today. Help us so close. Yes, so always there. It's not even far away. It's right here, right now. It's right here. It's not even close. It's right here, right now. Not there, because time does not exist. Time is bullshit. All is right now, right now, right now, eternity, right now. To laugh at my puny mind. Good, Vicky. Good. Tells me it's all I am. So good. Learning and relearning, that is all one. So good. Mikhail wrote, the ego creates subpar feelings towards the self and others, like a need to compete and compare. So good, Michaela. I just realized that I actually think I'm a mistake. Oh, Jamie, what a load of you know what. So good. We all have a lot in common. Yeah, Jackie, we really do. We all do. Thank you for that, Jackie. Let's go back in. Let's go back to my slides. You guys are doing amazing. You're getting this. So you're so getting it. As you can tell, I get super excited when I teach. Okay. Oh yeah. I've been on this path for over 25 years, but it's a path process. Like Rachel said, and Jack and Angie said, of rewiring our mind. Knowing it is one step, but we have to rewire, which is why this work takes daily work. Daily work. Okay. Oh, see, I missed that last slide. The last basically said the ego does not want to be seen. It does not want to be seen. I'll keep looping you, keep looping you. Now, my next question is, do you trust unconditional love? I'm going to pause for a minute. What is your relationship like with unconditional love? Do you trust it? Do you believe it exists? Because that's a really, really, really important part of this work. Do you trust unconditional love exists? Because now you're starting to see, like Michaela wrote, Jamie wrote, Jackie wrote, y'all wrote such beautiful things about what you've learned so far. The ego's bullshit. Yes. But the key is, do you trust unconditional love? I'll stop there for a minute. Yes, no, maybe so. 1000% yes. Thank you, Jamie. And now I want, yes, great, Sarah. Love is in you. Janet, love is in you right now. It's not in you in 5 minutes, but it's here right now. And like Rachel said, she's learning. Okay. Really learning to trust. Really, really learning to trust. let's go back to my slides. Trusting unconditional love is a really big part of the work because it's not something we can see or hear or touch. We have to believe it's there. The pivoting from fear to love is the key. Pivot out of body identification and pivot to observing the mind. Pivots you back to love, but it's a constant pivot, pivot, pivot. But it's an onion layer. The pain, whether it be relationship, health, money, are all pointing us somewhere. They all are. And they're pointing us to forgiveness. We're going to spend some time here. As most of you know, forgiveness is one of my favorite topics. Forgiveness is not, Dad, what you did, I forgive Dad. Forgiveness is not, I forgive patriarchy for keeping women down. Forgiveness is a giving up of a thought. A giving up of a thought. I'll read the slide before I teach this. What if you're not a body? What if you're not a mind? What if you could release all those those labels? What would happen? So forgiveness, I want to go back to that first box, is a release of a thought identification. And this is where the work gets, for lack of a better word, harder. I'm not going to lie to you. This is where the work gets harder. For those of you in my Wounds to Wisdom class, you know that we're hitting the pedal meets the metal right now. Because, if I've identified as, I'm going to make this word up, as a loser for so long, I would say it differently. I've identified as a loser. My dad hurt me so much as a child. Forgiveness is giving up the thought that I was hurt. Are you fucking joking? Sorry, guys, I swear. Well, are you joking, Divi? I was hurt. I really, really was. Don't you see the battle wounds? Don't you see? See the battle wounds, Divi? I'm not talking about the body. Forgiveness is a release of a thought that I could be hurt. Forgiveness is the release of the thought that I've done something wrong. Forgiveness is the release of the thought of separation from my divine essence. Just take a breath for that for a sec. Take a breath. Forgiveness is a release of a thought. That's all it is. And the more I release the thought, then love can enter, which is my true essence. I'm going to tell you a side story before I go back to my slides. So last night I woke up at about 4:30 in the morning. And, when you wake up, you're like, it's 4:30. Go back to sleep, Divi. But I couldn't fall back to sleep. And so I was kind of half waiting for my husband to wake up because he normally wakes up around 5:30. He wasn't waking up. And so I opened up my eyes and I looked out the door of your room. It was open. And I saw something black. And it was bigger than a butterfly, smaller than a bat. And I freaked out. There's something flying. And I freaked out. And I pulled the sheets over my head. And I was going to wake up my husband. I'm like, there's a bug. And if anyone is freaked out of my bug, it's like, but I knew better than to wake him up. Pulled the sheets over my head. And I thought I lied there. I'm like, what if it's not real? What if that was a psychic vision? And I pulled the sheets back and I opened my eyes and I looked and it was gone. It was totally gone. I'm like, okay, that was weird. And then I fell back to sleep. And I woke up a couple hours later and I walked down to the living room. I said, hey, babe, have you seen a bug? And he's like, what are you talking about? We don't live in a very big place. He goes, what are you talking about? I said, yeah, I saw this big thing, like a butterfly or a bat at 4 a.m. And he just started laughing at me. He's like, Dev, no, because he would have seen it. We don't have a big place. I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, what was that? So it's a psychic vision of some sort. I've got a lot of good friends who do the work I do, people that I've trained, people that are on my staff and so on. So I texted my group chat with my girlfriends this morning. And I said, hey guys, I need help. I don't know what happened. So I told them what happened. And they both, two of my friends responded back and they gave me some intuitive hits. One was the biggest one, because it's something I've been working on, is a release. She said, one of my girlfriends said it was a release of the butterfly. The butterfly was being released of this unworthiness wound that's been throwing up in my life because I'm no longer identifying as a body. So the Divine Mother was showing me that it was leaving me. Got it? The universe is talking to us all the time, but we have to pay attention to what's coming in. Got it? In one of my other classes, one of the clients talked about how he's having bed bugs. Everything is a metaphysical symbol to everything. If you don't have somebody who's helping you figure out what these symbols are, it's going to keep happening, right? But I've been forgiving the thought that I'm a body and forgiving unworthiness piece. So I saw the thing that I had today. Yes, I freaked out for a minute when like this, the blanket. But at the same time, it was a message from spirit that something is leaving. And we can all access those all the time. And sometimes it's more like an intuition and a feeling of love. And other times you see crazy crap like that. But where I'm going with this is spirit wants us to forgive. Love is waiting for us to give up any story that says we're not loved. Any story. And I'm going to take you into forgiveness in just a minute. I know it's 5 to 5, but I've got a few more slides. Then I'm going to take us into forgiveness in just 20 seconds. Okay. So remember, forgiveness is a release of a thought. That's all it is. That's all it is. Forgiveness is just a release of a thought that takes us back to love. How is this landing? What are you feeling? And is there resistance or excitement? Use the chat box. What's coming up for you guys? What is happening right now? So I'm going to leave that alone for a second. Oops. I'm going to take that back. Stop. My screen share stopped. Okay, cool. What's coming up for you guys? And I'm going to take you into a practice in a second. What's coming up? What is happening in your mind body right now? What's coming up? Forgiveness is returning to my truth. I'm going to take you into meditation and then I'll open up to Q&A. I realize that, my computer's going cuckoo right now. 1 second, Haley, I know you typed in something. I realize that when I get afraid of seeing things, I hold myself back from learning. Beautiful. Really beautiful, Haley. Really beautiful. How is this landing? I'm going to take you into meditation in a second here. What else is happening for you guys? This is a really important part when you type in because it'll actually cement things into your mind. How is this landing? Give it 1 more minute. If anyone wants to type anything else in. I don't open up and listen to spirit as much as I should, which is a struggle. Let's take out should. Let's take out should, Rachel. I'm open to opening up to spirit more with time. Realization. Beautiful, Ina. Beautiful. Carrie wrote, I woke up at 4 a.m. Yay today. Yay. Instead of going back to sleep, I know I should have gotten up and meditated. No big deal. No big deal. No big deal, Carrie. Good. I'm relieved that I don't have to hold on blaming anyone for any of my pain. So good, Vicky. I'm just so ready to let this go. I need to be less oblivious and more in tune with my truth. All right, let's do a mini meditation. I'm going to close it off in a second and answer questions. I've been noticing more of these spirit-based occurrences with increased frequency. That's so great, Sarah. I love that. Close your eyes. Take a breath for a minute. Let's just do a mini meditation. Close your eyes. Take a long breath in and a slow breath out. Take a deep breath in and a quiet breath out. With your eyes closed, just take deep belly breaths in and out slowly. Long breath in, slow breath out. Deep breath in, quiet breath out. Just keep breathing. Just breathe. As your breath is slow, deep, and quiet, just allow yourself to be still and breathe. With your eyes closed, taking yourself into a beautiful, beautiful place in nature. A place that you may have never been to before, or a place you visit often. Get really still and comfortable there. What do you see? What do you hear? And just breathe. Feel your body in this place in nature, safe and comfortable. Comfortable and safe. And just keep breathing. Listen to the sounds. Smell the aromas. Feel the air as it touches against your skin. Safe and comfortable. Comfortable and safe. And just keep breathing. Belly rises and belly falls. Once you're in your safe and comfortable place, invite in first your wise guide. Typically have 1, 2, 3 wise guides. These are the energies that give us our gut feelings or intuitive nudges. Welcome them in. Some of you will see them. Most of you will feel them. Some of you may even hear them. As you breathe in, breathe out. Safe and comfortable. Comfortable and safe. As you feel, sense, hear your wise guide, you begin to notice all of the love they have for you. The love is infinite to the moon and back. Just be with that for a few minutes. I want to teach you 2 words. Stay in your meditation. Prayer is us asking our guides for help. A miracle is them answering to us. As you sit with your guides, simply say, I'm ready and willing to release this thought. Maybe the thought is, I'm doing something wrong. Maybe the thought is, I have failed in some way. Maybe the thought is, I am bad. Remember, a sin is just a mistake that needs forgiveness. So imagine, if you will, that your guide is taking that thought from you. And all you need to say is, forgiveness set me and everyone free. And just keep breathing. Forgiveness set me and everyone free. Keep breathing. And as you forgive yourself for this thought, also say the line, I am open and ready for a miracle. Just keep saying that. I am open and ready for a miracle. Forgiveness set me and everyone free. Forgiveness set me and everyone free. I am open to a miracle. And as you sit here quietly and slowly, begin to hear, sense, or feel what they want to say back to you. I am ready to release this. I am open to a miracle. Beautiful. Sometimes the miracle or answer comes right away. And then we have a feeling or a letting go. And other times it's something that occurs later on. Just be open to releasing this. And noticing if you're totally giving up that thought, totally releasing and forgiving it once and for all. Take a few more breaths here. Knowing that the job of the spirit is to take it and release it and to send you back love. Beautiful. When you're ready, start to bring awareness back to the body, back to this moment. Roll your shoulders, stretch your arms. Take a breath, grab a sip of water if you want. Open your eyes when you're ready. Anyone want to share how that was? Use the chat box. Did anyone experience anything? Not experience anything? Have resistance? Not want to give up the thought? What did you notice? Attachment to it. I had tingling all over the top of my head. Beautiful, Rachel. That's the guides, right? That's your 7th chakra. Then that's them getting in touch with you. Like, we're here. I felt warmth. Beautiful, Jackie. That's the guides. I'm like, here, we'll take this from you. Really good. Those body sensations are part of the work. I heard you were already forgiven. Now I have to believe in myself. Oh, thank you, Athena. Thank you. Jamie wrote, it's so reassuring. My guides told me I could trust them to protect me. And I believed them. So good, Jamie. Liberation at last. Good, Ina. I keep feeling my dad. Oh, so good, Haley. A chest of coins lifted off my chest. Beautiful, Vicky. I love this. And it really is that simple, but it also isn't, as you all know, because the ego is just like really busy. So there's two parts to the work. One is trusting unconditional love, not only our guides, our divine support team, the divine mother and angels, but also getting to the depth of the fear, getting to the depths of what the ego thinks. So you have to do both ends. I'm going to pull back at my slides. I've got a couple more slides, and then we'll open up to a Q&A, depending on what's coming up for you guys. So where am I now? Here. So, oopsie, wrong slide. Give me a sec, wrong slide. Let me just stop sharing that one. There's a different slide I want to pull up. One sec. Okay, where's it? Is this slide? Might be this one. Let's see. That one. Let's see. Yeah, oh, same, wrong one. Okay, cool. I'm not going to share. So basically where I was going to go with this is if you want to take this further, my suggestion is join me in Whistler. I have a workshop coming up July 18th to 21st. There are 6 spots left. And basically it's a really intimate workshop. There's 10 people. And what we're doing is we're diving in deep. That's all I can tell you. We start Friday evening at about 5 or 6 o'clock. We'll end each day about, end the day at about 8 or 9. Saturday, Sunday are full days from about 10 in the morning till about 6, 7 p.m. Then Monday is from about 8 or 9 till about 12. So it's basically evening, all weekend, and Monday morning. So I'd love to have you. I can teach nonstop for days and bore you to all crap, but it's actually not boring, because one of the reasons I teach in person is because that experience of unconditional love, when I had my hand up earlier, that is something that the reason I teach in person is because that is something most people feel when I teach in person. Like they actually feel it. Like, you know how I'm just touching my shoulder right now? I can feel it. They feel it when I'm in person. You can also feel it online, trust me, but it's more like perceptible. Rachel, do you feel that way? Was it more perceptible in person? Yeah, it totally is. And because Rachel came to Palm Springs, I don't know if anyone else here's on the call who's been to one of my retreats. So it's really that. So I'd love to have you join me. The other option, if that's like too big of a jump, you're like, she's crazy. I've got 2 other options. I've got a free community called School, which is SKOOL. It's on my website, on my Instagram. You can't miss it. I do a lot of free stuff there. Join me there. Then I also have a class called Healing with A Course in Miracles that Angie's part of it. Then that's ongoing as well. So those are my 3 options currently. So I'm going to open to Q&A. Questions, what's coming up for you? All you have to do is go down below, throw your hand up. I'm curious how this is all landing. What's coming up for you? Use the chat box as well. Tell me what your take homes are today. And also I'll answer any questions. So use the chat box. What are your take homes? And Athena, I think you wrote that you were afraid to let in the energy, right? Is that what you wrote? Yeah, normal, very normal. Because there's this thought that I'm going to give up myself, but it's actually just giving up, letting in love, which I totally get. Totally get. It's a normal phase of fear to let that all in. Totally normal. So, all right. So share in the chat box what you learned. This is a really, really important part of class. Doesn't look like there's any questions, which is weird. It's fine. What have you learned? Use the chat box. What have you learned? Absolutely nothing, Debbie. What have I learned? Because what you will write in the chat box is what you're going to take home with you. And again, if there's questions, again, the question could be about yourself, something going in your body or your life. Doesn't really matter. You just use the react button down below and stick up your hand, the little heart, and then you stick up your hand. And if it's not working, just use the chat box. I'll grab you. So what have you learned so far? What are you taking home with you? Trust. Yay, Carrie. I love that. I love that. What else have you learned? Healing is possible like that. Just, it's a shift in perception. Boom, done. Boom, done. What else have you learned? Trust and love. Yeah. Forgiveness can be as simple as a release of thought. Bingo, Sarah. Vicki, that it can be an immense freedom while still embodied. Oh, so true. You don't have to leave the body for that. You don't have to leave the planet. Unconditional love. Nice, Athena. How important it is to let go of all the these ego thoughts. And that's a never-ending journey, Jackie, a never-ending journey, because they just keep hiding. They keep showing up. They keep showing up. Dare to surrender. Good, Janet. Really good. Anything else? Amazing. Any questions? It's funny. I'm not used to not having any questions, but I'll take no questions. Maybe you guys want to go hit the beach right now. Oh, there's a hand up. Yay. Yay, Rachel. Do you want to unmute yourself, hon?
Yeah, I got it.
Yay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're good to go.
Okay. So I know through all this, I struggle with resistance to love. We've talked about it once before. I did a huge meditation, kind of figured out why. And that was more of being angry towards God for taking my mom when I was so young. But then I heard God, spirit, however anyone wants to, say it, um, tell me why he took her.
Okay.
And um, because it was her time. She was done teaching me on this physical plane and needed to go to allow me to continue on. So I got that, but I still fight and struggle with it. And that's why I even has said it's continuous work. Um, but I have noticed more and more, especially like on our Monday calls, when we're doing meditation or we're doing the work, I tend to get more pressure, in my head, like a headache is coming on. But then the moment we've, stopped and, kind of go back to my daily, it just releases.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't know if that's just they're coming at me telling me what I need. It's weird. It's like it just comes and then it goes, and I don't know why.
Got it. I'll tell you what, and I'll answer the question, Rachel, and then I'll get you to tell them your experience in Palm Springs. Let me answer this first, okay? How old were you when your mom died?
19.
I do. Okay, cool, cool. And what's your mom's first name?
Deborah.
Like Deborah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. All right. And yes, you're right. That was Deborah's time. She already taught you everything she needs to learn. She could also teach you much more over there. So now I'm going to push you. Now this is you know how you guys are writing, okay, just to give the ego. What you're going to hear with the question to Rachel right now, this is a really important question. If I kept that thought alive, that God did something wrong by taking my mom away, how does it keep the ego alive? Like, for example, does it keep the abandonment maroon, rejection? How does it keep it alive?
For me, it kept me in anger and frustration. And by keeping me there, I was always taking everything out on everyone else. I was blaming everyone else. It was everyone else's fault that she's not here. So ego just kept me mad all the time, which I believe has put me into the depression that I've been in because I didn't understand. I was so mad that, she was my only parent. My dad was never there. I never essentially met him physically. And so she was it for me. And so it was anger, constant anger, and just hatred just bubbled out of me all the time when it came towards that situation.
Yeah. So, okay, that's that. Where do you think you held that anger and hatred in your body? And sadness and grief.
A lot of the time, I feel it head, neck, shoulders, in my back. Um, I want to say here lately too, I feel it in my gut. I have a lot of gastric issues, but here anymore, even when I do my meditations, or just anything, I get these butterflies and I know that stuff wanting to release and I'm holding on to it.
Right.
So I've noticed a few areas that I think I'm feeling it more so.
So good. So good. So the head pressure is the third eye wants to open. You're
Mhm.
super claircognizant. It's like super intuitive knowings come in, but this is a way that you block it. Like, so the ego still grabs it. Do you know what I mean? It
Yeah.
still grabs it because every time, okay, I'm just going to use the word God now. So God never makes a mistake. Your mom's actually behind you right now. She's behind your right shoulder. She never
She's
left
always
your
right
side.
there.
Is she? Okay. She never
Yeah,
left your side.
she's always there. Yeah.
She never left your side. And I haven't taught this, but the senses, the ear, eyes, ears, nose, mouth, they're the egos. That's the ego. So you've been seeing the lie that she's not here, but you're super psychic. That if I know she's there, but it's kept that story alive, and all this fear based is up here. But you also, Rachel, keep defense walls going. Like there's a fear sometimes of truly living, not that you don't live, but truly living without walls.
Mhm.
And that fear is what's going on in your stomach because something
Okay.
bad happened so much when you're 19 that you're so busy keeping the walls structured so safe. Are you with me still?
Yep.
And by now, Rachel, we're both older, and this is a joke. And especially those of you guys that are older in the room, like Athena and Angie, you guys, how much control do we have? Be honest, how much control do we have?
And
Thank you, Athena. So the defense walls are only hurting you, and they're keeping you
okay.
powerless. So the
Okay.
head is like what your mom just said to me. Are you gonna give up this story once and for all? Breathe, honey, breathe, breathe, breathe. Because you've never been alone. It's a way for the ego to think God left you.
Mhm.
There you go. Can you
Yeah.
forgive the idea that God left you or forgive the idea that God made a mistake? Love never left you. And there's one or two more things before you answer. You have so much love to give the world, so much love to Mars and back, that these thoughts are keeping that love small.
Mhm.
Okay, now they're letting you talk. How is this landing? What's coming up for you?
I know I have known for a very long time that I need to give up this story, especially since starting working with you and understanding and even going to the retreat and understanding more that I need to give up this story. But like you said, the ego just keeps holding on to it. And hearing that, knowing that she's telling me I've got to let it go, now I have to work on that. I have to let that go.
Right
It's,
now, right now, right now. It's just like right now, because it's
yeah.
stopping joy, is what they're saying. Because you're the
Mhm.
funnest, happiest person I've met. You are very fun and very happy
Yeah.
when you let joy in. When
Yeah.
you let joy in, and they want me to push you. And I said this to somebody else. The only time is right now. Eternity is right now. This is eternity right now. We know there's no future past. And one thing that you do a lot, and I do it too, I got to work on that. That keeps the ego like, but once you give it up, it's done. Once you give it up, it's
Mhm.
done. Oh, I grabbed again, done, gone again. Forgiveness,
Mhm.
forget, done, gone, done, gone, done. And you got that. I can let love in right now. It's going down your left leg right now. I can let
Mhm.
love in right now. There you go. There you go. How does that feel? There's no story, girl.
I feel warm. Like I can feel everything just, the warmth coming over me. I know it's there. It's coming in.
And the Divine Mother wants me to say to you, it was a lie that I was never here for you, baby girl. And that's the third eye. Because whenever you get
Mhm.
upset, she's like, but I'm here. So it's like, forgive the thought that you've ever been alone. Forgive the thought that they ever left you. Forgive the thought there's a future. Forgive the thought there's work to do. Right now. Love.
Mhm.
There you go. How does that feel?
Good.
That track.
Yeah.
How's your body feeling?
It's it's feeling like things are starting to kind of relax. The head pressure is relaxing. I was having a little bit of back pain across the shoulders in that area. That's starting to calm down now. So
And I
yeah.
know you know this. You're a massage therapist. And the body is just a reflection of what the mind is doing.
Yeah.
Right. And what one of
Yeah.
your habits and everybody's habits, I need to work on this right now. Done. Right now. Done.
Yeah.
People find healing so hard because it's like, it's right now, just give it up. But it's all mind training.
Yeah.
And one last thing they want to say to you. Part of Rachel's problem, welcome to the entire world, is that love has never been really safe. The only thing that's real is God's love. That's the only love that they want you to go for. How does that feel?
I know. It's there.
There you go. See how much lighter you are now?
Yeah. Mhm.
Can you do me a favor? Can you share with them a bit about Palm Springs as I read some of these questions?
Oh my gosh, Palm Springs was amazing.
Oh, thank
I
you.
actually, it really was. I'm like, I want to go back. I'm ready. I'm like, I miss my family. You guys are my extended family there. Like, honestly, we just bonded so well. And your guides will bring you, like, if it's the right place, right time, you'll be there. I started working with Debbie last year, probably like October, November. And when I seen the Palm Springs post and everything, I kind of made it as a joke on my Christmas list because I was like, oh, send me to Palm Springs, send me to Bali. I want to do some kind of retreat. And my husband booked Palm Springs with Debbie for me for Christmas. Um, and I'll tell you what, it was the best joke turn, life shifting opportunity. It was awesome. I know I went in thinking I had my shit together, thinking, oh, I've dealt with my mother wound. I've dealt with, my father's never been there. And my biggest wound I still do deal with is my sibling. Um, he's 13 years older than I am, but he's been, even with all of his chaos and his problems, he has been that dad for me. So a lot of our stuff is kind of like that father-daughter battle back and forth. So I still deal with that. Um, but I went in thinking I had nothing. Like I'm like, oh, this is going to be a breeze. I'm going to, sit here and do a few meditations and I'm going to get through it. And that wasn't the case. Like it was like a can of worms just opened up and I was like, well, crap. Okay, now I've got this and this and this, and we're going to get through it. And that's where the true work began. And yes, I've had my setbacks like this, like today talking to Divi. Yes, I have my setbacks, but if you keep putting in the work, you're going to notice things. I've noticed shifts. Since coming back from Palm Springs, my clients have noticed the shift in me. They really have. They've complimented me. They're like, I don't know what you've done, but your work is so much better. You can feel it, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And I talked to them about Divi. And actually, because I had to get business cards from you because I got tired of writing your crap down all the time. So I was like, yes, this is it. This is who. And yeah, like all the time. So I stick with her. She's amazing. She'll get you through it.
Thank you,
My brother even complimented you. I will say when I came back from Palm Springs, he called me and he goes, so did you find out how much you really hate me? And I said, I absolutely did. And I said, but guess what? We're going to work through it.
I don't remember that.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, he called me and I talked to him about that after Palm Springs.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever got to tell you that.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Like the whole conversation was great. And he goes, well, he actually, after 20 years, opened up to me about some of his therapy and stuff, and things that I never knew. And he told me, he goes, well, sis, he goes, everybody's got their own little thing, the way that it helps them. Yeah. He's like, I don't know what this woman is doing. He goes, but you need to stick with her because she's going to help you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Well, thank you for that little plug. I appreciate that too.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I didn't plan that, just so y'all know. All right, we got questions here. So Vicky was the first one. Vicky, I don't know if you're still here, but if you don't mind unmuting yourself, you wrote, is being in this complete awareness and sensation of all possibility the best way to deal with things like cancer and other physical events? Yes, Vicky, and if you want to unmute yourself, feel free to, but yes, in God's world. You're here? Okay, so you okay if I speak to your question?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to use the word God. Okay, in God's world, the body doesn't exist. Are you with me? In God's world, Vicky, cancer doesn't exist. Are you with me? And I know you know that cancer is typically the mindset of anger turned inwards. Got it? So in Divi's world, like if a client came in to see me or was in one of my classes and said, what should I do for cancers? Divi would say this, I will tell you what I will do. I can never tell anyone what to do, but I always suggest clients do the allopathic stuff as well as this work. But you have to understand that in God's world, cancer can be healed in 1 second when you forgive the thought. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. And is this specifically for you, Vicky?
Yes, it is.
And do you mind sharing the location of the cancer?
Left breast.
Left breast, even better. Okay, cool. And are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Amazing. So I'm going to teach and speak. Cool. So
Fantastic.
The left side of our body. So if you're right-handed, the right-handed person, the right side of your body is masculine, the left side of your body is feminine. So Vicky's got something going on her feminine side. With me? And we're going to use the chat box and all support Vicky and ourselves. Most of us here in the class are women, not all, but most of us are. So if you're a woman or a man, I want us to use the chat box. So, I'm using my intuition at the same time, Vicky, just so you know. What are the anger thoughts that we have towards ourselves in the feminine? So guys, use the chat box. What are some angry thoughts that just come up? And I'll start us off. We get angry ourselves for the body size we are. We get angry ourselves for you know, are like all the powerless anger thought. They're saying powerless anger, guilt. They're saying guilt too. Tell them to do guilt. And Vicky, I'm going to teach as they're typing. The course teaches us that the only reason we get sick is guilt. Okay. And so what the hell, David? What are you talking about? If this was God, Vicky, guilt is the idea that I'm separate and thereby in some way mistaken and broken and wrong. Got it? So we need to identify the thoughts that are in the left feminine side of who you are that are keeping you separate. The Divine Mother's behind your right shoulder. And she's saying to me to say to you, and she's got her hand on your third eye, that it's time to give these thoughts up because they're hurting you. So let me read what people put in the chat box. I'm curious, Vicky, if you want to share. Oh, no one's written anything yet. What are the thoughts, Vicky, that you may have in the subconscious or unconscious that you might have picked up? They're showing me your dad's side of family that you might have picked up in your lineage. I'm going to read these. I'm asking them for help too, so that we can talk together. So Michaela wrote, in our society, it is very easy to be labeled as a difficult woman. Good one. Sarah wrote that we aren't fulfilling the roles that we're expected of us women. This is all to help you, Vicky. I have to do it all myself, right? So what else, do we do as women that keep us down? And by the way, Vicky, your dad's energy keeps coming in. Okay, I'll give him.
My dad was a doctor and a medical intuitive.
Oh,
and
super
he,
interesting. Sorry.
and he passed away before, I was a child, but I was given up for adoption, and I know he was searching for me, and I've always felt him around. And it's actually on the maternal side, both my birth mother and my adoptive mother were very much telling me I shouldn't be here, that I wasn't supposed to be born, all this stuff. So there's a lot of pain with the mother. But I've always felt my birth father. Even before I knew that I was adopted, I could see him and feel him with me, even as a child.
So psychic. Do you know your birth father's first name?
Yeah, it's John.
John. Beautiful. Thank you. First thing he's saying to me is, and I'm sure people have tuned into him for you before, you can feel this him saying to you, you're the apple of my eye. So he's standing in front of you right now, Vicky. And so those thoughts that your mom taught you, you don't belong, you're not supposed to be here. Those are internal sin, shame, guilt thoughts. So I want you to bring John in, but also the Divine Mother. So give that to the Divine Mother. Forgiveness set me free. That forgiveness is a release of that thought. Take me to the place before, there you go, before that thought. There we go. Let me know that the divine I never made a mistake. And the I am is coursing through my body of love. Taking a few breaths. And let me know how this is going for you.
Yeah, I felt myself like jumping over that hurdle of not being able to accept or trust that maternal unconditional love, but I could feel myself jump over that as just a thought, not mine, and just a thought of theirs.
Exactly.
Not mine, just a thought.
Exactly. And I don't know if you work with the Divine Mother, but okay, so the Divine Mother is going to be your BFF. Okay. And if you can come to Whistler, she is the energy that I am. That's a big part of what I teach. Okay. So Divine Mother is definitely standing in front of you on your left-hand side saying, it is time. It is time. You're here for a purpose. And the reason you had so much sin and shame was because of the divinity of who Vicky is. And I know you know that intellectually, but it's hard to embrace that when you've got this story. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. And so I want you to imagine the divine, because I won't even imagine, she is right next to you because my whole left side of my body is pulsating right now. Like it's like pulsating in a good way. So let the story leave. It's a lie. It's a lie. Your dad just said to me, you're a 6th generation healer. So, yeah, okay. And Vicky, it's not about the cancer as much as it is the thought. There we go. And you had been spoon-fed this thought since you were young. Take a few breaths.
Wow. It's just opening up like crazy, starting kind of like big at the where my neck meets the rest of my spine, kind of like right behind my higher heart and a little bit higher. Everything's just kind of opening. It's an amazing feeling.
That's her. So in Divi's world, the fascia, right, which I know you know what fascia is the metaphysical where that fear, anger is stored. And then it opens as you release, opens. And that's how we quote unquote heal. We let the divine in. And she just said to me that my mother said, she said, quote, she needs to know her truth of her wisdom, her grace, her infinite grace, and the power of love, because the only thing that's real is love. Take that in. I'm going to teach you one more thing, Vicki. Just take that into your body. There we go. How is that feeling?
Like a release and a relief. I've had so many injuries to my fascia, so many head injuries, so much, and fascia too tight. It's always crunching, moving, head, neck, everywhere. The pericardium tightens around my heart. Everything is about that connective tissue. So this is astounding. Thank you.
Teach you one more thing, Vicki. Maybe one more, I don't know, but they told me to teach you this. And I haven't taught this in this class so far, partially because it's really out there, but it's not out there. Okay. It's out. It's not that it's hard to teach, but Divi's brain says it's hard to teach. That's Divi. Okay. So in the course, it talks about what is real and what's an illusion. The course starts with these sentences: nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Therein lies the peace of God. That's how it starts. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Therein lies the peace of God. What the F does that mean? The only thing that's real is the essence of love, Vicki. Anything that is permanent, that will be here in 1,000 years or 10,000 years, is real, which is your essence. Because I can feel your dad, you can feel him too. That's essence of love. What's not real is fear. What's not real is its body. What's not real is a lie. What's not real is fear. So when you really get that that's not real, holy shit. Do you get it? And this little thing I've got going on in my boob and this little thing I've got on my fascia is just an indication that I forgot I was a child of love and that I forgot I was a child of God. And the Divine Mother is like, she wants me to just remind you of something. And I think, you know, this, Stanley wrote this in really beautifully. You know, the divine, and I'll come back to Stanley's statement in a second. The Divine Mother has always been on the planet, but when patriarchy took over, the Divine Mother's always told me she's been here, but she's on the outskirts. COVID represented her re-entry into the planet. She's always been here, but we have forgotten she is here. The reason our mothers and grandmothers had all the BS they had is they forgot their essence. They forgot their divinity. They forgot, and they had all these dumb rules. I'm a good dad if I do this. I'm a good mom if I do this. Do you get it? All BS. The Divine Mother is the mother. And that's who I truly am. There we go. Truly am. There we go. How is that feeling?
Wow. Wow. Like waking up.
Yeah. That's real. Everything else is an illusion, false. Got it?
Beautiful.
And when you hold that, and again, I don't normally teach that, Vicki, not because, of course, I believe it, but I often find in these webinars and intro events, not that I lose people, but it's like, I know it took me forever to really embody that. But it's like, now I embody it and live it. You know, even my husband said something to me the other day, and I said something like, well, that's not real. And he just looked at me like, you have lost your rocker, right? You know, so a lot of the clients I work with are everybody from like a brand new beginner to a super advanced person like yourself. Got it? And so I'm just pushing you a little bit. Got it? So that's why I don't typically teach that. But because of your question, and obviously this group and whoever's recording, it may land a little bit, but to cement it needs that reminder over and over and over again.
Thank you. Thank you. The hair standing on end. And that's the most exciting thing for me, is to embody this, to have both this singular experience and be here really vastly feeling it all. So this is absolutely wonderful. Can't thank you enough, Divi.
Thank you, Vicki. So lovely to meet you. And thank you for that. Thank you for that. You helped a lot of people. Thank you. Helped a lot of people. Okay. So what else we got here? So Angie's saying thank you to you. So let's see what else. There were a couple other questions. I just want to scroll up to grab them. You know, let's just give us another saying, give it a second. Let's hold space for Vicki. Let's all hold space for Vicki. They're not letting me go on. Let's all hold space for Vicki and hold space for a miracle. We all need to know that miracle is a shift in perception. If a miracle is not happening, something's going wrong. There's no such thing as a big miracle or small miracle. So there's nothing big about her healing her cancer versus the fascia she felt is shifting, or what Rachel felt in her neck. There's no difference, guys. There's no difference. Let's just hold the space for Vicky right now and each other. Because when we hold it for Vicky, we hold it for ourselves. Because Vicky and I are the same. Me and Angie are the same. We're all law of one. We are one mind. One mind. Take a few breaths. Beautiful. Thank you. Okay. Ina. Okay, it was my grandfather who taught me how love feels. My mother only made me know her anger was all my fault. And that's that sort of, that goes hand in hand with what we were just talking with Vicky about. The Divine Mother is the only one who can help us release this, because so many women suffer like your mom did because of that pain, because of these stories. So thank you for sharing that. See the mirror. Janet wrote, powerlessness at the root of, is at the root of the anger. Okay, right. This is at the root of the anger. Sorry, I'm trying to let Sarah in. One sec here. Powerlessness at the root of the anger, resisting helplessness in the face of the void. So good, Jen. Okay, let me just see if there were any other comments that came in. So my computer's just being a teeny bit slow because it's so hot, I think. I don't actually know. Okay, having a female body is painful. Oh, Janet, I think that's a comment, right, Janet? Or do you actually believe that? Where are you, Janet? And if you can unmute yourself, honey. I believe it. Time to give that one up, sister. Can you address migraines? Sure, Ina. Janet, where are you, honey? Can you unmute yourself, baby? I think yeah, there you go.
Here we go. Hi.
Do you want to give that one up?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a quote by Rumi that goes something like this. And I'm going to paraphrase it. Okay. So bear with me. Rumi talks about positive and negative, but I've changed Rumi's quote a little bit. Okay. So I want you to imagine a field. Beyond the male, beyond the female, there is a field. Meet me there.
Right.
Do you feel that? There we go. There. Every human, and right, Jan, I've known you for a while. Every human, I hold a lot of masculine, a lot of feminine too. But if I label the vagina I've got and the boobs I have as painful, then I'm not meeting the person behind the field, because it keeps the ego story alive. Remember the definition of the ego. The ego is the mental habit of identifying. Got that? So if you give that to God, who are you? How does that feel?
It's interesting. I didn't realize how much I identify as female until I tried to expand that.
So good. Oh, it's taking me forever. I mean, I think like there's still obviously identity for me as well. But for myself, Jen, I think we can probably relate to this together. And especially those of us who are older and younger. There's so many pain stories.
Yes.
Everything from incest to I can't even list the list of things.
And past life.
Yeah. And when we really get that the body is not real and the only thing that's real is the divinity, and I know you know what I'm about to say, I know you know this, but the feminine, the mother, the feminine, the goddess, that's the creative force of life. The masculine says, let's put on a workshop. The feminine creates it. The feminine draws things. The masculine just says, this is what we need to do. The feminine is drawing it. So as each of us heal our feminine, then we all trickle. And then when my guides have told me, so a lot of the work I do is around the Divine Mother. It's actually the basis of the work I do. And I was going to say something. And I often ask her, because the culture I come from, being Indian, I mean, don't even ask me the stories that we've got, as you probably know, they're insane. Yeah. Like it makes me cry. Like sometimes I'll work with a client, I'll just start crying when I hear the stories. I'm about to cry again. What the mothers always told me is that in probably 100, 1,000 years, it will look very different. But if we don't start right now, it can't. And that's why COVID's here. And that's why beautiful Vicky has cancer. That's what, like, do you get it? That's why all this pain is here, Jana.
Yeah.
How is that sitting?
Very good. When you said that about the mother being the divine the creator of everything, that I really got that. I really felt it. Yeah, that was different. Yeah.
Amazing. And a big thing we want to do is, and this is both them and me speaking, we can't approach from anger anymore. We're both old enough to remember Gloria Steinem from the 60s, right? We can't approach from anger anymore because it doesn't work, right? The Divine Mother is the purity of love.
It's the grief that's gotten me.
And the grief is only there because of the focus of the thought that something went wrong.
And
Okay.
helplessness. Yeah.
Right. But that keeps the divine, that the ego loves it, but that keeps our power away.
Yeah.
But I can't remember, there's only one moment right now, no past, no future. Right now, in this moment, there is nothing to fear. My body isn't real. You can come over, rape me, kill me, I don't care. Seriously. The only thing that's real is my essence of my God self. Nothing can hurt me unless I let it. Everything is thought, and we have millions of years of feminine stories that say we're less than, we can be hurt. And if we don't start healing them, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, our great-great-great-daughters will still have it. And that just breaks me. It makes me cry when I think about that, like literally cry. So if we don't start shifting our thoughts, we can't, because everybody is one mind. And so as one person shifts it, that trickle is massive. Vicky, for example, is a teacher. When she shifts this and heals it, boom, she's going to help 1,000 more people. Boom, even without a word, just by her vibration. Nothing happened. There is no past, there is no future. There's only the essence. Take a breath, Janet. How are you doing?
I'm remembering a friend of mine who had a difficult childbirth, and she was really pissed off about the interference because she knew that it could just be easy. And I'm remembering that because when you said that about the Divine Mother being the creator, that's what I felt. I felt this endless flow that comes from everywhere, that is everything. And that just was so pure.
And that's it. And that's it. How does that feel?
That feels like a good thing to work with.
That's the feminine I want you to walk away from. That's the feminine. That's the mother. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course. I'm going to read Rachel's question before I address migraines. Rachel, the Divine Mother is showing herself to us right now. Several of us need to remember she's with us. She has really stepped forward for us today. I agree. She's just like, Ina, can you unmute yourself? And I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right.
There we go.
There you go. How are you?
Great. Dizzy.
It's Ina. Did I pronounce it right?
I know.
Ina. Thank you. Migraines. All through here?
No, the right side,
Right side?
my jaw, my ear, into my neck. I've become terrified. I'm 74 and I've become terrified to fall asleep because I wake up with them. I tend to sleep sitting up. I've considered them a gift because they have taken away a lot of my resistance to forgiveness, but there must be a better way.
Ina, are you right-handed or left-handed?
Huh?
Are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Amazing. And right face, right neck, all down here. How long have you had them for?
This is over 4 years that they've been this intense. I have 6 children. They started when I had the third, so 35 years, but nothing like the past 3 or 4 years.
Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna do really blunt questions, and I just want you to answer right back, just like blunt, don't think. Okay?
Yeah.
What are you angry about? First thought, don't think. What are you angry about?
A long marriage.
What's that?
A long marriage where I feel suffocated, where I feel like I'm not heard or seen.
Are you still in that marriage right now?
Yes.
He's still alive?
Yes.
Amazing. It's like the anger is bubbling over. So I think you know what I'm about to teach. What I try to describe people is if this is your body. Let's just say this is your body. You can only put so much emotion in here before it bubbles over to impact the body. The migraines are an indication of the anger, is what they're telling me. And it's sort of like, you know how I always tell people unforgiveness is saying, here, you drink this poison, I'm going to drink it instead. Do you want to go deeper?
Yeah.
Ready? You ready to? What do you perceive in your marriage as to why you're so angry?
I have so much to offer and give, and it's just like a brick wall. I can smile and share myself in my garden, and yet when I come to my loved ones, I've had cancer 5 times in the past 9 years, and it's like being a child, the only affection and gifts you got were because you were sick, had your tonsils out. And I kind of ran with that thought that it was just a cry for an attention, affection.
Whose job is it to give you attention?
Me,
And he spoke about the brick wall. I assume you're meaning him. He gives you a brick wall.
yes. I'm learning that it's me,
You're learning
that it is me.
exactly. Because again, we're going to teach a bit deeper. Here's one person. Here's another person. They're exactly the same. No one does anything to us that's not in us. So, do you mind sharing your husband's first name?
Philip,
Philip. Okay. Are you open that there's a correlation between the migraines and the anger?
yes,
Are you open that the ego is addicted to the anger for
Yeah.
many different reasons? Because it explains your life.
yes,
If you created this marriage, if he is you, what are the thought processes that he is you? Does that make sense what I just asked you?
Oh.
If he is you, he is you. Remember the 2 cups?
right,
If he is you, he is showing you you. What are the thoughts that are creating this? Stay in your body. Stay in your body. I can help you. My job is to help you.
Right.
What are the thoughts that are creating this? Not the anger, but him
Right.
this way. What are the thoughts?
I just never felt worthy to speak up. It was always shut down. It was be a good girl, be quiet. You're just my wife. You're not my friend. You're my wife. Behave.
Okay. So you know this. You've done counseling or you know this.
Yeah.
Remember, that's past and this is future. And the healing is right now. Right now. But they keep telling me there's an addiction to the past. And I also wrote down the story that she's not lovable and there's something wrong with me. So if I've got this in my energy field, then I'm going to bring in the energy match. But there's an attachment, just like you saw with Rachel, there's an attachment to that story. Are you with me?
Yes.
And the migraines are getting more and more debilitating because it's like your guides are saying, huh? One thing I sometimes say in workshops, and it pisses people off, so I hope I don't piss you off. But I sometimes say in workshops, sometimes I'll tell people, it's not our mom and dad's job to love us. It's the divine's job to love us. It's our job to heal the story. It's our job to heal and forgive.
Right.
This is keeping your, like, because I'm looking at you, they're showing me your back right here. So it's keeping your God self away from you by staying in this pain body.
Right.
How's this feeling?
Liberating.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to literally say these things but not embody them. But this feels like I've shed a few layers.
And you're ready. You're ready. Because sometimes the ego says, well, I'll be better when he dies. But the ego, the thoughts are still there. I know. Exactly. Because what they're telling me next, very similar to Rachel, is this is holding you back from joy.
Yes. Yes.
How is that sitting? Any questions?
No, this bubbles up and you put it in words. You put it in words that I can can tangibly, it's more than just my mind saying, this is what you're seeing, this is how it is.
I'll teach you one more thing before I close. The picture Archangel Raphael is showing me, and I know you Archangel Raphael is the angel of healing. He's saying when she gets a migraine, she should stick like a big straw into where the pain is, like a big tube, and visualize the thoughts leaving. Okay, the pain going, but mostly the thoughts. Forget the pain, just see the pain, the thoughts leaving. And then bring in the Divine Mother and do a forgiveness prayer. Forgive me for the thought that I've done something. Forgive me for the thought that there was a past. Forgive me for the thought that I wasn't loved. Just keep giving it because I know I am loved. I give this up to you, God. I am open to miracle. Just give it. And you're going to find moments like Vicky saw a minute ago. You'll have a moment of relief of pain, a moment, but then it'll come back because you're very addicted to these thoughts.
Right.
That you're 70 something and you've just been thinking it. But use that pipe. Raphael's like, give it to me and let the truth of my essence, of my God self, of the mother enter, to know that it was her job to love me. It was her job to show me the truth, to know that I am love. There you go. How does that feel? Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. We'll do a closing meditation with you. I'm visualizing all the guides, the divine support team, the angels around you. We're going to hold a prayer for Ina to be open to a miracle, to release the thoughts that have her bogged down, that hold us all down. We'll be open to a miracle for release of these thoughts so that she can shift in love and light and be the joy that she was meant to be. The moment she was born, the moment she was conceived, the joy she was meant to be. Take a few breaths. Are you ready? Open your eyes. So tonight, if you're having a migraine, I want you to think of us encircling you, the Divine Mother encircling you, that pipe going up to the heavens, letting all those thoughts go and letting the truth of your essence come in. You do that every single time it happens. Even if you do it for 10 hours, I don't care.
Yes.
Thanks, Ina.
Thank you.
Of course.
Blessings. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let us do a close. So let's do a closing meditation. Close our eyes. Take a breath. Let's see ourselves standing in a circle, holding hands one more time. Sharing and giving love. Love going out your right hand to the person next to you in the circle, received by the person next to you, and going every spot around the circle and coming back to you. You are allowed to receive love. You deserve love. Your true essence is love. Love is the truth of who you are. And start to see this whole circle being surrounded by the Divine Mother, who ran the whole workshop for me, and will be with you every step of the way. Take a few breaths. And when you're ready, go to open your eyes. Such an amazing class. Thank you all for sticking around. That was longer than I thought, but that's fine. Sending you guys so much love. I'll follow up with some links. Join me in school, my free community, or join me in Whistler. That'll be so much fun too. So much love. I'll see some of you guys later on this week. Have fun. You're so welcome, Carrie. You're so welcome.